Hey everybody, it's time to swing. We're still swinging, and I'm your host, Thomas. And today, family, we got Big Meech. Big Meech said he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Cuffy said he did do it. All right. 50 Cent said he told Tammy to do it. You know what I'm saying? So look, family, without hesitation, we about to hop into the program. So look, this is what Big Meech talking about starting it off.
I'm gonna address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family to come out to the Amaran Arena.
All right, family. Why did Meech do that? Why did Meech do that? Because that didn't make no sense at all. Meech not about to convince nobody. I hope Meech don't think he about to convince nobody with this right here. Because let me tell you something, family. If Meech done this, Meech not gonna say he done this. He not ever gonna say he done this if he done this.
Today, just a few minutes ago, BMF boss Big Meech shared a video of himself where he responds to 50 Cent calling him a snitch.
I wasn't gonna address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Not long after Big Meech dropped this video on Instagram, 50 Cent responded to him. 50 Cent said, "If the artists on the bill don't show up, are you gonna want a refund? Big Screech is not even gonna be there. He can't go out after 6 p.m., but don't take my word for it. Go ahead, knock yourself out," said 50 Cent.
I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the street.
You trick Cuff off the street.
I never folded, never told.
You
never
told
will.
Tammy to tell, bitch.
Always with me. So I'm doing this for my love.
He gonna get a bunch of that. He gonna get a bunch of that stuff there. All right, because he ain't never gonna convince nobody who already convinced that he did it, that he didn't do it. He not. All right, look. He would have been better off just keeping it moving, because now he get ready to start a firestorm with the things he said, with the things he's saying. All right, you coming out and addressing this not gonna help it. We already heard Cuffy's story, and all you're going to say is that you didn't do it. You need to say more than that, because those of us who know, we know you never gonna say you done that. We know you never gonna say you done that, but if that's all you gonna say, you should have just shut up. Because addressing this not gonna trick you off the street. It's not. It ain't trick nobody off the street. It ain't gonna trick you off the street. But see, the problem is, right? He can't explain it. He can't explain it because guess what? We know it's true. Listen, Cuffy not slow. Listen to what happened, family.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press...
Family, I figured out how he got Cuffy. Cuffy not smart. Follow me. He not smart, and Meech peeped it.
5. To block this call and all future calls, press 7. You may begin speaking now.
Okay. Well, you know.
I think Cuffy just a go hard, loyal dude, and Meech recognized it, and that's what he used against Cuffy.
What I would do is I try to educate your audience and others on how the system works in third-party cooperation. Third-party cooperation is the ugly secret that the DEA and that the federal government don't really want out in the ciphers or the media, because it's underhanded, it's nasty, and it only affects black and brown communities. Third-party cooperation is where myself, I can call and have one of my niggas or a bitch, you know what I mean, to go out and set a motherfucker up. Any event, I will receive a time cut. It's called third-party cooperation.
I also get lots of questions about Rule 35 on a third-party basis. What is third-party cooperation or proxy cooperation? Third-party cooperation is when, instead of the defendant in the federal case cooperating on his own behalf, the government would agree to allow some third party, usually somebody that the defendant knows or has some form of dealing with, to cooperate on his or her behalf. What happens here is that the third party, who would be the cooperator, is working usually with the Drug Enforcement Administration to set up a controlled buy or do a reverse sting or something like that that would benefit the government. In exchange for that, the defendant on whose behalf the cooperator is doing the work would get a sentence reduction.
This is what.
Keep in mind, family, Big Meech was never supposed to have been able to get this off on Cuffy. Big Meech was doing 30 years in the federal penitentiary. Cuffy been in the penitentiary before. Cuffy, of all people, if Cuffy was a rookie, family, I would have been able to understand this. But Cuffy, a seasoned veteran. Listen, Cuffy older than me and grew up in this game. He seen dudes crossing dudes all his life. He know it's always going to come from a dude you close to. And Meech in a situation where everybody start crossing people. That's that situation. He should have never, ever did no business with Meech while Meech was doing 30 years in federal prison. That wasn't smart. That didn't make no kind of sense, and I couldn't understand how he got that off on Cuffy until I saw this.
Meech, Big Meech, Demetrius Flannery, known as Big Meech, and Tammy Collins, known in the paperwork as CS1. CS1 stands for Confidential Source Number 1. Whenever there's a 1 behind the CS, that's the person who started the case.
Okay. So
when you see CS1, that's what it stands for. Confidential Source Number 1.
Yo, me saying Cuffy not that smart might be a bad choice of words. I'm saying, if he like you, he'll believe anything.
So another thing, let's clarify for these people that you not a Johnny come lately as far as your relationship with Big Meech.
No. Listen, man, we go back to we were children for real, but we were young men. We were 22, 23 years of age. I'm 50.
Family, they always the dudes who gonna do it to you. Always. Your enemy, he don't know enough about you. All right? Only somebody close to you can do this to you. They gotta have your trust. And when Meech in a situation like he was in, you can't trust them.
6 years old right now, and so is Big Meech. The Meech is Flannery. So our relationship go back over 30 years. You feel me? So I know we got a lot of niggas that's now jumping on their bandwagon and doing whatever they do. I'm a day one nigga. And I wanna clear up something. A question you posed to me last time was that people don't believe that I made Big Meech. I've never said I've made Big Meech. Let's make it clear. What I'm saying is that Big Meech has always been a money-getting nigga. But there's levels to this.
This call is from a federal prison.
The nigga nigga never seen $1 million until he met me. He never seen $1 million until he met me. So no, I did not make them. And furthermore, I went off to prison. You know what I mean? This is my second go round dealing with these devils.
Okay.
See, so Cuffy been there before, so he knew all Meech had to lose. All right, look, you don't trust a dude doing 30 years in the federal penitentiary and go do no business with him. I don't care. Yo, you don't run no caper with no dude in a situation like that.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So this nigga had a long run without me. So no, I didn't make no one. And I want to also make something else clear, that I'm not trying to convince no one to believe me. I have a duty and a code that I live by, that I'll die by. I don't.
Bro, that's how I know Cuffy telling the truth. All right, I know what kind of duty he is. You can hear it, you can see it.
Break the code, my nigga. You feel me?
Yeah, and they vouching for you. Like, they vouching for you in the D, people in the A. Definitely people I talk to in the Lou, they vouching for you.
Hey, yo, listen, Slim. Niggas fuck with me, man, because I don't break the code, man. You know what I mean? I ain't got no sight. I ain't got no monetary gains with what I'm doing. It's my duty as a real nigga to set a fuck nigga out for some foul shit. You feel me?
It's the code. It's the code.
It's the code, my nigga, and I live by that, man. I don't violate the code, man. What the nigga did is foul. You feel me?
Now, another thing I guess I want to touch on is explain to these people how Tammy Cowens came into play. Or how
Tammy Cowens was originally an old girl. Well, I ain't gonna say a girlfriend. Somebody that Blue Da Vinci was smashing. So Blue had threw her to Meech to handle his little fan mail and just handle his little runarounds. She eventually came to have Demetrius Flannery's life rights.
Family, that's what was in it for her. Because keep in mind, Tammy wasn't working off no case. Tammy never been arrested in her life. All right, so something had to been in it for her. All right, and she came up with all this stuff and ain't do nothing. We know how she got it.
So that's how she became CEO of BMF.
She got it because she was the one who was supposed to get Meech out.
Entertainment.
Okay.
So I want your audience to go to Georgia Secretary of State. Look up BMF Entertainment and see see who's the CEO, a government informant. So the nigga 50 Cent, you doing business with a government informant. You knew it.
Yo, you doing 30 years in a federal penitentiary? Yeah, you will give them all of that to get out. All right, if she agreed to get you out, you gonna give her all of that. You Big Meech, you ain't worried about none of that. All you need to do is touch down.
I know it. Big Meech know it.
And that's also causing a rift between the family.
Between him and the rest of his family, because they what they saying to the nigga is, yo, this broad is hurting our brand. You feel me? And you ain't heard one word from the nigga about this situation.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Nothing. And his name is clearly on your paperwork.
His name is in the paperwork, man. This woman testified. This woman testified in a court of law that she became a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut. You feel me? It don't get any clearer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know most niggas don't understand paperwork. So I mean, and that's crazy to me, because you niggas call yourself street and you out in the streets, but you don't understand what these white folks are doing. That's crazy to me.
And I'm gonna attribute a lot of that to maybe they never dealt with the system, but that's what we here for, to educate them, I guess, on that, because all you got to do is follow the dots with this one because that's when we bring up you, we have to bring up a guy by the name of Suarez.
Fidel Suarez. Fidel Suarez met Demetrius Fleury in the county jail. He's a cartel member out of Los Angeles. Super good dude. Fidel beat the feds in trial and went home. But he exchanged information with Big Meech and was trying to help him. Whatever he needed, you know what I mean? Dude was down for that. Okay. So Big Meech and Tammy was initially trying to target Fidel. You feel me? So in the course of me and Tammy discussing Meech's movie rights and me seeking out a deal for a movie and me providing a script for a movie, the DEA got wind that I was in contact with Tammy and they turned the investigation toward me.
Got
so that's why Fidel Suarez's name is in the paperwork.
Okay, and that make a lot.
You see what I mean about Cuffy, family? Cuffy not that smart because Fidel was working. Fidel didn't beat the feds, and anybody who listened to this story know he working. That's the only way they didn't indict him too. Family, he just said he beat the feds. Did you see when John Gotti Jr. beat the feds? That's how the feds is if you beat them. They got a sick vendetta. They charged John Gotti with the same thing and took him to trial 3 times. He beat it 3 times. No, he had to go to trial for the same case 3 times and get found not guilty 3 times. That's the kind of vendetta the feds got. Ali told you they in the winning business. They ain't in the losing. They are sore losers. You think Tommy is sore? No, the feds. Listen, and for him to tell you that he think Fidel beat the feds and then they had him dead bang on the hook with you and they let him go because they heard your name. He an informant. He got a handler. He had a handler ever since he caught that load. He told y'all he beat the feds. He didn't beat the feds. Now I know how Tammy knew the routes. Because listen, Cuffy wouldn't have gave her the routes. Meech in jail, he don't know the routes. So how did she know the routes? She got them from Suarez. He the supplier, he would have knew the routes. And Cuffy talking about he a good dude. The only way he got off that indictment, he got a handler. That's why he ain't in that indictment. And they already had you and they didn't need him. But let me tell you something. You're supposed to be smarter than that.
A sense. And I guess kind of going back to that previous conversation, you were working on this script with MC Hammer's brother trying to place what they showing now almost on Stars.
There you go. We was going to do a motion picture. We had a deal on the table from Lionsgate Films. MC Hammer's brother name is Louis Burrell. This is my
family. Listen to what I'm saying. They had Suarez dead bang with them. All right. He's saying that the feds heard his name and he's such a big player that the feds said the hell with Suarez, who is an even bigger player. He the supplier. And just went after him and let Suarez go. And Suarez supposed to just beat him in trial a few years back. And they just let him go because they heard Cuffy name. And he went for this. Now I know how Tammy knew the routes. They ain't want to give up Suarez, so they said the routes came from Tammy.
My dad, it's my nigga. It's a Bay nigga, but he been out in LA and Hollywood forever.
Yeah, I did my research on him.
Yeah, that's my nigga. Super good dude. Been around forever. So I mean, he can contest all of this.
Family, you could tell Cuffy just a super good dude. And you feel me? You can't go around this game trusting people. I don't give a damn if you like them.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of sources out there that could confirm it. But really, if you paying attention and if you open your eyes and reading the paperwork.
And another thing your audience need to know.
Family, there's plenty of dudes I like. I love them to death, but I don't trust them.
Call is from a federal prison.
When I do these interviews, people say, well, damn, Cuff, how you know Tammy didn't get in any trouble? Tammy Collins has never been in any trouble. She has never been charged with anything. She's not from the streets. She's not about the streets. Demetrius Flannery put her up to this.
Yeah.
So this is what the government testified to in court, that she's cooperating with the DEA to set Cuff up to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut. It doesn't get any simpler than this, man. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's mind-blowing in itself, that somebody without a criminal record or, you know,
can be able to do this. Now, we know that you can work off your sentence and things of that sort that other red niggas do, but this is an individual who's never been in any type of trouble. She was a fucking secretary at some office or something in Atlanta. So she's not from the street. She's never been charged with anything.
See, family, that's what was in it for Tammy. She was chasing the bag. All right, she did it for the money. She was trying to come up. All right, listen. This was the plan to get Big Meech out of jail. Big Meech just didn't know they wasn't about to let his butt out of jail. All right, they wanted Big Meech to rot. Big Meech was the problem. All right, and they wasn't cool with everybody not knowing Big Meech ready to get out. They wanted Big Meech to stay in there.
Wow.
You feel me? So this shit was new to the judge that was overseeing this case. You know what I mean? So she.
Salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. What's up, Tori? Tori, I'm still kicked out of the algorithm. I don't know when they gonna let me off punishment. So it ain't gonna be many people in here. But you know I gotta keep working.
You say, wait a minute, let me make this make sense. You mean to tell me that you signed up to be a DEA informant to set a guy up to give a kingpin a time cut, and the government is okay with this? This is what the magistrate judge said in open court.
And now, briefly explain how that go into play with everything that happens with her and Keith Cromer. How that comes into play with your case.
Keith Cromer was the agent that started the case, but he tried to hide his hand. So the way that he hid his hand was he passed the case along to St. Louis DEA, who always had a bone to pick with me.
Okay.
So the reason why he hid the case and sent it down to the 8th Circuit, which is the St. Louis region, is because he had to try to hide his relationship. So the way that the relationship was brought to light was the Justice Department seized Tammy Cowan's phone. See, this is another thing that I found out, all the procedures that go and how you pay an informant and such and so forth. When they seized her phone, so once an informant completes his case and your guy is indicted, they have to turn over their phones and any other equipment of communication. Once that happened, they saw what she thought that she erased pictures and the text messages of her and Special Agent Keith Cromer. Pictures of them two in the bed naked. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Conversations back and forth. The Justice Department stopped my case to investigate Tammy Collins and Special Agent Cromer, who was indicted and fired.
Oh, so he lost his job over that.
What? Yeah, that's criminal. Because you falsifying court sworn records.
Yeah.
Family, they don't never give nobody no rhythm on that. If you research case laws, you're going to find a bunch of cases where the agent or the handler was smashing a witness or informant. All right, all they ever do is get rid of the agent. That's all they ever do about that. For Big Meech, You see what they did? They used it to block them from getting out of jail. They could use it to block them from getting out of jail, so they used it. Family, they never give nobody no rhythm on that. They never give that no consideration in nobody case. When you find out that one of the agents, because it's a bunch of agents on the case. It's not just one agent. All right, it's a team of agents on the case. All right, so you knock one down, you still got 4 or 5 agents left. All right, they'll just get rid of him and continue with the case because they're going to prosecute you. But for Meech, they used it to block him from getting out of jail when they normally wouldn't have paid that no damn mind in nobody else's case. But Meech, it was an excuse to keep him rotten.
And I seen that shit went up. That shit went up some levels of court. That shit was like, it was almost like, I don't want to say they was having Supreme Court hearings on that shit, but that shit went up past regular court level.
Yes, it's very serious. A DEA agent can have no contact.
Keith Krumah got fired over that, and how serious of a offense that was, and that pretty much re-triggered your case. That brought your case back to life.
Well, I ain't gonna say it brought my case back to life. This happened before my conviction. This happened during my prosecution.
Because it ain't never brought nobody case back to life. All right, I seen it 100 times. They never pay that no mind. I ain't never seen them give nobody no rhythm on that. But you see, they used it to block Meech from getting out.
I was in the county jail. This was going on.
So okay, a little bit, because I know if I'm confused by it, or if I was confused, because I'm fully in tune now, but at one time I was confused. Explain your situation and your conviction, because most people would see it like, well, he pleaded guilty, so how
Well, we have to point to 97% of individuals in the feds are based on pleas.
Okay. Yeah.
It basically boils down to if you're going to trial, you're not going to be viewed by your peers, and that's one of the biggest discrepancies from going to trial in the state courts. You feel me? So it is no way for you to have a 97% conviction rate unless the deck is stacked. So of course I did, and the other couple 100,000 people that's been sitting in the feds with me right now also.
Yeah, and excuse me, it was some circumstances around that surrounding your co-defendant and statements that almost forced your hand with that, because
they did force my hand. When the government saw that their case was in trouble, they indicted me on 2 homicides.
So I'm gonna try to explain. I got a good friend that just came home from he was sentenced to 22 years and he got it cut to 11. But how he explained to me is how the feds work, and this is exactly what you're going to explain. So when they indict you, they know that 98% of the people are convicted. Once you put in, like, you're going to fight the case and you don't immediately cop out, that's when they come back and supersede you with multiple indictments and multiple different counts.
If they have the evidence, they first have to have the evidence.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, and now in your case, is that what happened with that situation? Did they kind of get you on one thing and come back when they noticed that you was going to fight it? They superseded you?
There you go. So when the case got in trouble, meaning that the agent and the government witness lost all credibility when a sexual relationship was revealed. It's illegal. It's immoral, and it kills all credibility. It's just
family. He think it was way more serious to them than it was, because he don't know how much they deal with that. They deal with that all the time. All right, they just never give nobody no rhythm on it.
The system that we have is based on credibility. That's what it's supposed to be based upon. It's based on credibility. You feel me? Your veracity.
Okay.
your credibility. And once that is gone, then you can't bring a prosecution, because now you have committed what's called outrageous.
Listen, a good friend of mine out of West Virginia, right? Well, his case out of West Virginia. He from New York. All right. Look, his baby mama in West Virginia. The agent on his case was banging her. He thought he was going to get some rhythm. He ain't get nothing. All right. She even took back. The agent even went to the evidence, took $30,000 of his money and gave it to his baby mama. And all they did was got rid of the agent. They ain't give him no rhythm on it. None.
Government misconduct, which is grounds for reversal or vacatur of the charge.
Wow. And that's the circumstances you're falling in under now. And I guess another thing we want to kind of briefly touch on is the ghost gun situation.
Yes.
Yo, you know the agent had to be, he had to been out of his mind. Yo, I know she had it going on because she had that dude running to the evidence room, stealing and bringing her back her baby daddy money.
They use a theory called aiding and abetting. You feel me? And I tell the people all the time about the two tiers of justice we have in the federal system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
enlighten.
Yeah, well, but just basically, first of all, you going to trial, you won't be adjudicated or judged by juries or your peers. So if you were in Philadelphia, they not drawing the jury pool from the city of Philadelphia. They going in outskirts Pennsylvania. So you're gonna have 12, 60, and 70-year-old white folks holding your faith in their hand when they've already came in with bias.
All right, family, pause for the cause. All right, now look, you see all of this, how Meech breaking it down. Okay, this Meech response.
I want to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family to come out to the Amaran Arena.
Family, Meech should have just shut up. If that's all he was going to say, because this man got paperwork, this man got proof. And if you ever think we believe for 1 second that if you did this, and I'm not saying you did it, but trust me, I know you did it. But I'm not saying you did it. But what I'm saying is, we know you ain't never going to say you did this. All right, we know that. So you should have just said nothing.
Of you and the people in the inner cities.
Before the case even started.
Before the case starts. That's the only way you can have a 97% conviction rate in the feds.
Yeah.
It's the only way. It's built-in bias and
Family, I know Tammy ain't have nothing to gain but them rights. Meech life rights. All right, see a CEO in BMF. Yo, he ain't give no little spinner all of that for nothing. She was supposed to get him out of prison. And I know to get her out of prison from under 30 years, you in the penitentiary, you would give her all of that.
Yeah. So right now, I know we talked about a case, the United States versus Laura. And I pretty much explained the scenarios around that case because it's very, very similar to yours.
It's identical.
Okay.
Laura.
What Meech don't know is you get a dude 27 years, he digging into that case. He gonna find out what happened to him. You can bet that.
Out of New York, out of the Second Circuit. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. He had drug charges, which were the statutes are called 841 and 846 for conspiracy and intent to distribute. Your audience might be lost on these terms, but
This call is from a federal prison.
very familiar with these terms. Laura also was charged with
And family, if you look up that guy Suarez, you can't find nothing on him. Nothing at all. All right? That's how it is. Okay? If he beat the feds, that's a matter of public record. You can find that ASAP. And the reason I knew that you couldn't find nothing on him because a subscriber of mine told me about it in the comments. He said, man, after watching my video and seeing what I said about Suarez, that Suarez hot, he said, man, it's crazy because that's so weird. I looked all over. You can't find nothing on him. You only can't find nothing on him when he working. Because if he beat the feds, that'll be a matter of public record, plain for you to see. But I ain't had to see none of that to know Suarez was working. All I know is that they let him out of this case. And there's only one way they let the supplier out of this case. They found his handler. His handler told him to back off. He already on our team. And I don't know how that got by Cuffy. All right, Cuffy, he would have been your co-conspirator. Y'all would have been on a conspiracy together because y'all would have got indicted together. I don't know how you could have missed that.
and the 924J based on discharging a firearm and furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. That's the first charge. That's a 924C. I'm gonna let you see the similarity, so you'll see the double jeopardy that's coming along.
Okay.
The second charge is a 924J, and that is discharging a firearm during the drug trafficking incident that results in death. So they both are.
All right, family. So this is what 50 got to say. All right, in response to what Meech had to say. And you know 50 the ultimate troll.
Today, just a few minutes ago, BMF boss Big Meech shared a video of himself where he responds to 50 Cent calling him a snitch.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Not long after Big Meech dropped this video on Instagram, 50 Cent responded to him. 50 Cent said, "If the artists on the bill don't show up, are you gonna want a refund? Big Screech is not even gonna be there. He can't go out after 6 p.m., but don't take my word for it. Go ahead, knock yourself out," said 50 Cent.
I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the street.
You trick Cuffy off the street.
I never folded, never told.
You
never
told
will.
Tammy to tell, bitch.
Always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up? When Vizzo don't show up? And all these don't show up?
I wasn't going to address this. Because I'm not
Reading drops, man. Look at you reading this.
But I never folded, never told, never.
Yo, this man got all of this paperwork and all of this information, and that's all you gonna say. I don't know who told you to do that, but they made a mistake. You shouldn't have said nothing. All right, because this ain't gonna trick you off the streets if you get bro. Listen, for you to have addressed this, you would have had to come better than that.
The firearm doing drug trafficking.
Yeah.
That's double jeopardy.
Yeah.
That's stacking the deck. And they do that to just add more time to your situation.
So when they supersede you, this is the vindictive part of going against the feds. They say, well, you have so much balls that you're not going to cop out to this plea. We're going to stack you with counts and charges.
Not only are you not going to cop out to this plea, a lot of these niggas, you understand, turn to government witnesses. You understand? So not only you're not going to cop out, you're not going to help us bring more black and brown people into our system. You feel me?
Yeah, because I'm sure that come to you when they come to you with the plea, and when you don't play that ball game, they make
then
they
get nasty. You feel me?
And to make the people understand, they have to spend money to.
No, see, you don't get it. They was always nasty, and they wasn't never playing with you. All right, you know how it go in there. You either taking that plea or you going to trial. It ain't gonna be no. Listen, get that Superior Court stuff out of your mind when you get the U.S. District Court. You ain't gonna get less time because you don't want the time that they offering you. That's not how it go. If you don't like the 15, they know you ain't gonna like the 50. And they ain't got no problem with giving you the 50. All you gotta do is act like you ain't gonna take this goddamn 15 or 20.
Take you to trial. So when they feel like you making them spend the money on prosecution, all of this.
Exactly. But that's contrary to the Constitution.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, we know.
You have the right to seek trial.
Uh-huh.
This is written in the Constitution.
Family, this how it is. If you already know you ain't trying to do the 15 or 20, you know damn well you don't want no parts of that 50.
It's contrary to the Constitution.
Yeah, they try to make it to where once you fight the government, you're not gonna fight them. You'll never fight them again based on what they'll do to you, or you'll never get out because the amount of how they got the deck stacked against you.
Exactly. I will point you to the First Amendment. You have a right to seek grievance against the government. You have that right.
Yeah.
You have that right.
So
this is the Constitution I'm talking about.
So let's explain where your situation is at. So is that case still being tried and heard, or has that case been settled yet? The Laura case out of New York.
The Laura is settled. And that's what we're going back in on. Laura was settled in June of 2023.
Okay.
And so now we're in the appealing court stating the fact that we should get relief just as Laura did, because once the Supreme Court ruling becomes law, it's the law of the land. It's the highest court in the land.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, they can you state how long you've been in so they know that?
I've been in since 2014. So it's 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, and I knew from me doing my research, but being that it's kind
of shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Adrian Washington, thanks for pulling up. I appreciate your support. Said I dig your show. You keep it 100. Always. And look, I'm still in the doghouse, so it ain't gonna be many people in here because YouTube kicked me out the algorithm. I don't know when they gonna let me off punishment. I don't know what I did. I know what I did. When they gave me that comment to hold, and I let that comment go, knowing that I shouldn't have let that comment go.
Fresh in people's mind, I want to make sure that they know that this didn't just happen. This is something a decade
No, this has been going on for a while. I haven't heard from Big Meech since he put me with Tammy Collins.
And
this is a 30+ year relationship. You feel me?
And
this is my nigga going back to when we were 21, 22 years of age. You feel me?
And that's crazy. Yeah.
So what I learned, this is very telling. This is what I learned through this whole thing. Because I learned a lot about what goes into being a confidential informant. Once the confidential informant or informants have completed their mission, meaning that the investigation.
Family, this a dirty game. Filthy, grimy. You gotta assume he working. You always assume that dude is working. Always. If he doing 30 years in a federal penitentiary, he can't tell me nothing. He working. I ain't doing nothing with him. You would consider running a caper with a man doing 30 years in the federal penitentiary and now you whining. What was smart about that? Knowing what this man got to lose and what this man losing, because you've been there before. So you know everything he losing and everything he got to gain if he can just get out. You know he only gonna set up somebody he got the trust of. You've been in the streets your whole life seeing men cross each other. How did he get this off on you?
Is wrapped up or you're about to be in.
Yo, Cuffy's still not even supposed to know if they was his intentions or not. Because he was supposed to never ran a caper with this dude.
All of those parties are to assist any contact. Cut off any contact you have with the target, being myself. So that kind of explains why I never heard back from Big Meech since.
After that happened.
Right.
King Black said, salute King Black. He said, what Big Meech said was a light threat. Don't trick me off the streets. You know the vibe. Stop Hollywood BS, lil rapper. Look, listen, I'm just calling it how I see it. Salute Miss Parker. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no light law treat. There wasn't no light law treat, my brother, because I'm telling you, he got some explaining to do if he want to get people off his back. And I don't care. This dude got all of this, and I already know. All right? Just knowing what I know. This dude not lying. All right? Because how did Tammy come in possession of all of this stuff that she did absolutely nothing for? And she clearly set this man up. And the only person they know in common is her. She ain't never been in trouble in her life. She ain't did nothing. She ain't working off no crime. Her only stake in it was this bag. And she came up with all of this stuff because she was the one that's supposed to get Meech out. And if you ever been in the federal penitentiary before for any amount of time, let alone 30 years, you'll give her all of that to get out of there, family, with the quickness. All you gotta do is get back. You're gonna get all that back. You ain't worried about nothing like that.
And I remember you talking. So a lot of this kind of got sparked up by an initial interview you did with someone. And that interview happened to take place, I was told, years ago, even though it found its way.
Family, most of these dudes go to jail with nothing. They go to jail with nothing. You feel me? When you're going to jail and you got a whole bunch of stuff, like Meech got a whole bunch of stuff, you're just going to be losing everything. See, I've been in there losing everything with your family going through it because the only one that can afford to keep this life is you. And they got you in that box. You want to get out?
To the internet recently. A lot of this is going to seem recent because the BMF show came out just a few years ago.
Right.
This kind of information just rose to the internet. But the person I spoke to that had and released the interview said, well, I had it for 2 years. I just didn't release it.
When a man in a situation like that, family, the last thing you do is go help him out. All right, by putting yourself in it. All right, listen, ain't nobody got good intentions for nobody when they sitting on 30 years in the federal penitentiary, because the only situation he can be concerned for at that moment is his own. He cannot consider yours. All right, a man doing 30 years in the federal penitentiary, if you decide you're going to run a caper with him, don't come back whining. All right. Listen, family, as always, It don't take much to be nice. We all gotta live on this planet together, walking in and out of each other's face. Respect is important. Look, make sure you like the program, share the program. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Look, family, I'm kicked out of the algorithm right now. You know I've been a bad boy. I don't know when YouTube will let me off punishment. But until then, I love y'all. Thanks for pulling up. Thanks for your time.